Is the new Trump administration making you panic about your EB1A visa green card? If you're an engineer, you are not alone. Across the board, we are seeing a massive wave of requests for evidence, or RFEs in short, hitting highly skilled, highly qualified applicants. Um, and it feels as if the rules have changed overnight. But don't panic. An RFE is not a denial, it's a challenge. And it's also an opportunity to explain yourself some more. And today, I am going to give you the 5 insider secrets to beat this Trump RFE wave. So let's dive in. My name is Priya Allighieri. I'm an immigration attorney and I've been practicing for 15 or more years. And my law firm focuses on EB1A visas for engineers. So, if you're an engineer, this new Trump RFE wave feels personal, feels overwhelming, um, and it feels like the door is closing. But again, the RFE isn't a denial, it's a request for more information. And it's an opportunity to clarify and better explain your case. Today, I'm going to share 5 secrets that we use on tough RFEs. Number 1, decode the America First scrutiny. The law hasn't changed. So keep that in mind. The law hasn't changed. It's just that the immigration officers are interpreting the law differently. So they are looking more or scrutinizing more the future benefit of granting you a visa. So, how are you going to benefit the US if your visa application is approved? So, this is what you should do. Don't just list your achievements. Create a narrative, frame your field of endeavor as critical to the US. Number 2, the recency rule. In other words, sustained a claim. You may have heard that as part of the EB1A visa requirements. That means you have to have recent accomplishments as well as past accomplishments. So sometimes in the RFEs, you'll see that the immigration officer is saying, well, you did something phenomenal 3 or 4 years ago, but that's stale in their view. So, what's the fix? Provide evidence of your accomplishments over the past year. Show that you are currently still at the top of your field, not that you were in the past. And there are many ways to show that you are still at the top of your field. Number 3, okay, engineer specific evidence. So, oftentimes in the RFEs, we'll get a question or request for information on to show how your innovation, technology, solution, or how your contribution has been impactful. And again, we only handle EB1A visas for engineers, so this is very engineering focused. So if you get an RFE that says, okay, maybe you did invent something novel, maybe your solution that you developed is groundbreaking, but you have to show how that solution has impacted the field. So if you get an RFE like that, in your response, talk about implementation. Don't just throw out your patent and assume that it will stand on its own. You have to show that the technology was implemented, licensed, or otherwise, has influenced the field. Okay, so then the fourth secret to winning an RFE is the final merits argument. Even if the RFE does not raise any issues regarding the final merits, definitely make sure in your RFE response you address it. Because this has become a priority issue in the Trump RFE wave. So it's never been that previously prior to Trump. This wasn't an issue, but now final merits is one thing that you cannot skip. You have to hit it over and over and over because the Trump government is really focused on it and is aggressively questioning the final merits part of anyone's EB1A visa application. Okay, so final merits, as you may know, is the second part of the EB1A visa analysis. So sometimes in the RFE, the immigration officer will say, okay, you do meet the criteria, but we're not convinced that looking at the totality of that evidence or the totality of the criteria you meet, we're just still not convinced that your accomplishments rise to the high level, the small percentage of people in your field. So how do you respond to that in your RFE? Connect the dots. Use plain English to explain how your niche, your accomplishments are solving a major problem in the US, or it has moved the needle for your field, and how each of the criteria is, if you look at it, maybe not one at a time, but if you look at the totality, it shows a narrative of a highly accomplished, influential professional who is maintaining a claim going back maybe 4 or 5 years. Okay, lastly, the fifth secret to combating the Trump RFE wave is quality over quantity. So this ties into the totality final merits argument. So many times applicants will just throw information out, hoping something sticks, right? So sending thousands of pages of fluff, and you know, like the immigration officer will definitely not review all that. And it will definitely be overwhelming, and your story will be lost. So think quality again, because for the final merits, they will definitely analyze the quality of your evidence. So pick um, pick what you discuss, pick what you provide very carefully, so you can explain very clearly how this is very high quality work, and make the job easy for the immigration officer. They're not going to sift through thousands of pages. So definitely lay out very clearly um, how you meet the EB1A criteria, use simple language, um, explain um, at the end about the final merits, as I mentioned. Definitely point out how you meet the criteria based on the quality. Um, More is not better, as I keep saying over and over. Okay, so you can beat the Trump RFE wave if you stay strategic. Engineers, if you would like a strategy session to see where your case stands, please do not hesitate to contact my office. We'd be happy to help you. Click the link below.